Hey, Bob.
Hey Leslie, how are you?
I am making it. It's a rainy day, but it's a great day. I'm full of energy. So,
Good,
how
good,
about
good,
you?
good. I am as Bill Pipe says, I'm alive, excited, and full of energy.
Yeah. All right. So today we're going to talk about the importance of an IDX. Now, you and I learned this early on. We learned how to build out an IDX and how to go beyond just that front page that catches
Right,
one person, or catches whoever's there.
right.
You and I have learned to build numerous pages. Well, I know on mine I built over 1,600 pages.
Oh,
So
easily.
so people, they pay for that website and they pay for that IDX, but they don't really use it. So we're going to talk about what they can do better today, right?
Right, right.
All right.
So here's what I want to do. First off, I want to separate the term IDX, Internet Data Exchange,
Mhm.
from CRM, Customer Relationship Management. Okay, most people want to know what's the best CRM to use. And Leslie, what's the best CRM to use?
The one you actually use,
The
the
one
one
you
you
will
actually
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 use,
work.
correct. But today we're not talking about CRMs. We're talking about IDX, Internet Data Exchange. This is a website that allows you to show MLS listings on your website. You cannot just use a portal out of your MLS and put it on your website in what's called an iframe. That will get you thrown out so badly. Okay, we've had competitors do that before, and I'm the one to pick up the phone and go, hey, MLS, get this person. We're not supposed to be doing that. So each MLS will give you a list of approved vendors who are their IDX vendors. Okay. So if I belong to the Minneapolis MLS, I need to find out which vendors are there and then make my selection from there. Um, this is absolutely vital in my mind, is to have an IDX website and to have it well developed. Okay. So most people think of a website, or most people have a website that is either one, supplied by their brokerage,
Right.
or two, just has like an about page and a search that says, hey, go find something. So I want to talk about the 10 things that you can do to make your website so much better. Okay. Most people think of a social media strategy in terms of how much money do you have, because they're going to have a poorly developed website with maybe one page, and they're going to pay tons of money to Google and Facebook to force people to come to this unattractive, unusable site. Okay, which half the time is just kind of broken anyway. But they're going to pay money to force people to go to this attraction rather than having a fully developed, attractive, usable, searchable website that people will naturally gravitate to. Sure, you can add add some ads into that, but why not have the site be organically drawing you traffic as opposed to just forcing people into a piece of garbage website. Okay, so the number one thing I want to talk about out of the 10, first one is URL, Universal Record Locator. Okay, this is where you go to GoDaddy. This is where you go to Google domains. You buy your domain. Most of us own your own name, which, by the way, you should own your own name, but nobody's looking for Leslie Wilson. Nobody's looking for Bob McCraney. They're going to look for Houston real estate agent. They're going to look for Houston homes for sale. They're going to try to find a URL that is about the search area. Okay, so own your vanity URL, but have your main URL be about the area you're serving. Now, you can use something called Keywords Everywhere. Keywords
Hmm.
Everywhere is
I
an
love this tool.
tool, and you can go into Keywords Everywhere, find the search terms that people are looking for. So if I was doing Minneapolis homes, it would come up and tell me that people were searching for Minneapolis homes with first floor master or something like that. Go to GoDaddy or Google Domains, look up that term and buy them, because those are the terms people are looking for. And why not have your URL match that? So that's number one, is have a URL that's not just a vanity URL, have a URL that is pertinent to the search area. Okay.
Right.
Number two, the site should either attach to a CRM or communicate with a CRM. So it either should have its own embedded CRM on the back end to gather all the leads, or you can use things like Zapier or basic APIs, or what we're talking about. If you're a computer person, you know what an API is. Something that makes site A talk to site B and they communicate. If you love, let's say you have a Boomtown IDX site, but you love Wise Agent as your CRM, just make the two talk to each other. Don't turn off Wise Agent and just go over to Boomtown and suffer with a CRM you hate. Make the two talk together. And most of them these days have some sort of integration between them. I think Buffini is one of the few that doesn't have any integrations that I know of. Mr. Buffini, if you know of some, please call me. I'm not trying to say you don't, but I've not been able to find them. So So most of the CRMs have some way to talk to one of the other services. So work that out. But you don't have to live with the CRM if you hate it. Make your IDX talk to it. Third, your IDX should be searchable using what we call dynamic URLs. Okay, if you
Yes.
have a site, and I'm just going to pick on Minneapolis all day today, and you just type in you want to live in this subdivision, and it returns a URL that just says results.asp.
Yeah.
You cannot use that site. Just burn it to the ground now. You need the site to return a thing that says city equals Minneapolis, house type equals single family, minimum price equals 200,000, max price equals 400,000. You need to have that URL bar to have the search terms in it, okay? Because then you can go through and change that search any way you want, and any computer around the world that puts that string in is going to get the current search results. If you just have results.asp, no computer in the world knows what it was doing, and you can't use that as a link anywhere in your social media to refer back to this site. So this is critical. If you don't have a dynamic URL, you got to stop. You got to stop right there. That's a hard stop on that vendor. You got to move on to a new one. And if you have questions about that, call me and or email me, we'll talk. Okay. Number 4, your website should force sign in. Okay. Don't give away your data for free. Everybody has, almost every site now has a sign up of some sort. Okay. And it's come to be expected. The payment for using the data is to give up your digits. Now, you will still have some people bounce off the site and go, I don't want to sign up. Okay, they were probably never going to buy a house from you anyway.
Right.
You're going to have some people put in Mickey Mouse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great, but at least maybe the email. Out of the 3 characteristics they could give you, the 3 data elements, your name, your phone number, and your email address, usually one of the 3 is valid because they'll probably want to get an email from your site with new houses, or the phone number will be right, or the name will be somewhat right. Out of those 3 elements, you can stalk them on social media, you can call them, you can email them, you can do some Google research and try to find this person if you want to. And Leslie, I know you have some sites that we can talk about in a bit that help you with that, but don't give away the data for free. If you have a website that cannot force sign in, that's a hard stop. Don't develop that site, okay? And I know a lot of the brokerage supplied websites don't allow you to do force sign in, okay? Right. Another thing about owning your own IDX, and we'll talk about this in a second, is I'll say that for the talking about owning your own website, but it's vital that this be your site and nobody else's. Okay, absolutely vital. So number 5 in what we want to develop on the IDX, once you have one that has the dynamic URL and it's got the dynamic URL and it's got the geographically centered URL as opposed to the vanity URL, you get all that set up. You want to start laying out area pages. You want to go through your town and lay out either subdivisions or suburbs and make it hyper local. I live in Dallas. Nobody wants to look at a Dallas page. They want to look at Carrollton, Plano, Louisville, the Colony, all the suburban areas. And even within that, they want to look at homes with masters on the first floor, homes with pools, homes with gas fireplaces. They want to look at different styles. So you can have landing area pages for each of the styles, each of the suburbs, each of the subdivisions, and all these can be laid out and be ready to be seen rather than having somebody hit the site and go, hey, search for what you want. Have it already laid out, because then Google and the other search engines will see that because you're going to put some keywords under them, and Google will see and go, oh, they're looking for a house with a first floor master and a pool. Send them to this site. It's already laid out for them.
Oh yeah, and so two of the things that I found out quickly is that when building out my IDX and doing the long key search tail terms, school district. Oh my gosh.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You do school district and you do specific elementary school. If you create that page, they will come. I did the zip code. I did the subdivisions. I did the high rise building. I mean, it's amazing that once you start doing it, it's actually not difficult. But once you start doing it, you realize how many other people aren't doing it.
Oh, and it becomes infectious.
It becomes infectious, and
because
you start
now
getting
what
that
else
traffic that you're not paying for.
Right. Now what else can I go? Okay, I can do this. I can do shopping centers. I can do digital mayor work, or here's this great pizzeria. Let's outline houses near the pizza place, near the coffee shop. So yeah, it becomes so easy to do, and you just add layers and layers to the website to the point that this flower has just petaled out beautifully. Okay. Yes. Number 6 here is different than area pages. Let's talk about link pages. Area pages are defined for a subdivision or suburb, something like that. A link page is, and by the way, the area pages has search engine optimization around it. Link pages don't really have SEO around them, but they're just a series of links, just drops and drops of just lines after line of links. I have on my site, out of the 5 counties that we serve here in Dallas-Fort Worth, there's 244 suburbs. Okay, so I have 244 links there for houses under 400,000. Then I created a second page, another 240 of houses between 400 and 600,000, and then a third page 600 and higher. So exponentially, I increased my site by 700 some odd pages just by dropping this text in, and it took me 20 minutes to make the pages because the dynamic URL just let me change city name and then change min max price. And yes, I will go back at some point and I will put area pages behind them. But right now I at least got this up, which is so much better than one page that says, hey, search for what you think you might want. Okay. Right. Number 7, all your social media posts that you do should refer back to this site. If I'm doing a social media post about Carrollton, I need to refer not just to Texas Pride Realty, I need to refer to the Carrollton page on Texas Pride Realty. I need to refer deep into the site. I may even have some URLs that go from just being typed in and go directly into a certain page of the site rather than the nugget, the front page of the site. Maybe they go deep in the site to that page about that subdivision. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. So you can have different stems of the flower going to different petals, basically, to use that metaphor. But all your social media needs to refer to these different pages and drive people deep into the site to the specific data they want, rather than just hitting that home page. Okay, number 8, keywords are vital to your growth. And we talked about keywords everywhere. It's amazing to me how many people don't use that. When you create an area page, let's say you're doing a page like we did for mother-in-law suites. Okay, you need to create on the area page, you need to mention mother-in-law suite like 6 or 7 times, and then the slug, which is the extension of that page, the URL. So it'd be your sites / mother-in-law suite. That slug needs to mention as well what the site is about. Don't just if you have a website that the slug is just a random number, hey, I'm going to create an area page, or I'm going to create a feature page, and I'm not going to be able to define what that extra text is. That's a stopper for me. I can't do that. That's no.
That extra string behind that slash is very important.
Yes, because the search engine takes that into account to say, what is this site about? Oh, it really is about X, Y, and Z. It is about this. Okay, number 9, and I put this one as most important. I started to touch on it earlier. Do not build a house on land you do not own. Do not build an amazing site on your broker's IDX, okay? Here's why. 1, agents change brokerages. It happens, okay? So all the work you did, gone, because you went from Banana Realty to Apple Realty, and the website is gone. So don't build on property you don't own. Secondly, let's say that I stay with the same broker, and broker is with, company 1, and company 2 calls broker and says, hey, we'll give all your agents' websites for half the price. And the broker comes out and says, hey, next year, January 1st, we're changing technology companies and we're all going to go to half price vendor. All the work you did not translate over. Broker doesn't care. Broker's saving half the money on giving you those sites. I have audited people's sites, and here's another reason. I have audited 2 major big box brokerage sites. The first one, when I signed on for, and I'll just use fake names here, I signed on for Stephanie. Steve calls me. Even though I went into Stephanie's site, it routed the lead to another agent. And it wasn't even another agent in her branch of this big box brokerage. It was a different franchise in the same town, same big box company. Yep. I didn't get the person I signed up for. The other thing was on her area pages, which, by the way, she did not create. She just used the brokerage's area pages. At the bottom of the screen, it said, hey, here's 5 other agents. Would you like to work for one of them? So is that site really benefiting Stephanie? No. Oh, but it's free with my brokerage, Bob. I just don't need to pay for it. You're getting slaughtered. You're getting slaughtered. The second one was very similar situation, different big box company in the Midwest, basically. And I tested it 2 ways. 1, I signed in, and she has, it's one of these sites you have to go accept the lead. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's her site. It
Mm-hmm.
should not matter whether she accepts the lead today or 5 days from now. Okay. So first one, I signed in, I had her accept that lead, went right to her. Great. Second one, I said, now leave this someone out here 2 or 3 days. And I signed in under a different profile. Sure enough, after 3 days, it got routed to a different person. Because the
Mm-hmm.
brokers said, you know, well, she didn't respond to that lead fast enough. Let's be sure we get the sale as a brokerage. Let's give it to the next person. If that was her paid site, she would not have lost a lead. Now, should she attend to a lead quickly? Of course.
Absolutely.
But even if she didn't get to, let's say she was on vacation for a week, that lead is still hers. So don't depend on your brokerage to do the best thing for you. Always, always, always own your technology. And the other part of that is own your domains. Always be bob@bobmccraney.com or bob@whatever.com. Don't be your name at theirbrokerage.com. Ever,
Right.
ever, ever, ever. Okay. Number 10, audit your site. And if you, I'm gonna give Leslie, I'll give you a little chart that you can put this video, the 12 or 15 steps to look for when you're looking at your site. Some of them are fixable. If your site doesn't have this, okay, you can add it. Some of them are hard stop, absolutely not, don't proceed for it further. So that'll be something, if you want to sign up, I can send you the audit, and I'll be happy to work with you on that.
Great. Well, that covered a lot of information. Some people might hear all this and be like, "Ah, this is just too much," and it really, really isn't. I taught myself how to do HTML on my own. I learned how to make all that happen, and then I discovered there were sites that actually made it a lot easier than the way I was doing it. So I don't want anybody to be afraid of it, but at the same time, you're right. If you don't own it, it's not ever really yours.
Exactly.
And Stephanie lost that lead after 3 days, but she probably spent the time marketing to get that lead.
Stephanie
So
uses this
it doesn't
website
make
everywhere. It tells everybody to go to this website.
exactly.
And
So
then it's probably, at some point going to pay money to an ad company to force people to go to that website because she hasn't gotten her organic leads. Well,
right.
we don't know whether she really got the organic leads because they're going to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And even if she force feeds that website, people from Zillow or Google or whoever for the leads, they could still be going to other people. So own
Right.
your technology. It's really not that difficult. It's a vital to your business to own your technology.
Exactly.
I'll stop there. If anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me. You can reach me at bob@bobmccraney.com. I'd be happy to chat with anybody, or you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just look for Bob McCraney. I'm not hard to find.
Bob is always willing to share information. Always, always, always. And we do appreciate that. All right, Bob. Thank you so much. Till next
Take care.
time.